So another example, similar blog, you should test everything, blah, 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 same stuff. We have a search box here. We're going to try a normal injection, HTML, tag is not allowed. So similar to what we got before. Let's go back and obviously try what we tried before. So instead of B, let's just do a HTML tag that doesn't even exist like this. And we're going to end it with that as well. Doesn't really matter. We're going to search and see if that got injected. And that actually got injected. So that's pretty cool. So let me actually try the exact same exploit as before. So blah, on focus, tab index, whatever, search. And as you can see now, it's telling us attribute is not allowed. So we are kind of stuck in this one because as you can see, the firewall that we have in here is pretty good. So let me show you how you could tackle something like this. In general, this is what you should do. Obviously, try normal use, then try HTML injection, then try to play with the actual HTML tags. So if it doesn't work, like you're going to be doing stuff like script like this with a capital T or whatever, capital I, and see if that works. If that doesn't work, try a HTML element that doesn't exist, like the blah, like I just did there with the on focus. If none of that works, you're going to start having to expand your range. And keep in mind, we're only spending a lot of time on this one. Particularly, like you shouldn't really be doing this with every text box. The main hint that you want to keep in mind is if you send a request and you can see the result in the page, it might not be as obvious as you can see in here. It could be even in a URL of the image. It could be somewhere at the bottom. It could be just in the HTML. Like you might not see it in the page. It could be in the HTML. So you need to see that through the responses in Burp. But the main thing you want to do is look if the response contains anything that you could manipulate through the input, whether the input is a text box or if it was coming from the URL or from anywhere else. If you as a user can manipulate input and get it to be displayed in the response, then you should spend a lot of time trying to inject HTML or JavaScript through it. So what we're gonna do with this one is we're gonna use the intruder to see what HTML elements we can use in here in this text box. So we're going to go to the cheat sheet and we're going to copy all of the possible tags to the clipboard by clicking in here. And then I'm going to go back to my page and I'm going to turn on my proxy and I'm going to submit a normal search. So we're just going to say test and I'm going to search. We're going to have the request in here in my proxy. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to send it to intruder. Now in the intruder, in the payload, we're going to paste all of the possible HTML tags from our cheat sheet. So instead of us trying in here manually every single possible HTML tag, we pasted all of the possible HTML tags in here. And then we're going to go to the positions. And in here, I'm going to remove the test from here and I'm just going to put an open and a close. So this is similar to what we do in HTML tags. We have an open tag and a close tag, and Burp Suite is going to substitute these S's with the payloads that we put in here. So when I click on start a tag, it's going to go through this whole list and it's going to substitute these two S's with every single possibility in this list. And the reason for this is we just want to see which elements or which HTML tags are going to be allowed and which ones are not allowed by this text box. We're hoping that there will be at least one element that we can actually inject in this text box. So we're going to click on start a tag. You're going to get a disclaimer because this is the community edition. It's a little bit slower and it's a little bit limited, but that's fine. It'll do for now. And you can see now it's trying every single possible input that we put in the payload, and you can see the status, the result. So you can see the result is 400 for everything. So we're looking for 200 for success. And perfect, you can see that the body tag is getting 200. So you can keep this running to run through all the payloads that we have, but I'm happy enough with testing the body tag. So I'm going to close this and we're going to discard. And let's actually try this. So I'm going to turn off my proxy and we're just going to do body and let's close it. Do test/body And I'm gonna copy this. And perfect, as you can see, the body it's not being filtered. We're not getting an error message. So let's try to do body followed by some kind of an attribute. And again, if we go back to the cheat sheet in here, we can see all of the possible events that we can use. Like I said, you have them listed in here. So we can copy this and we're gonna go back to our intruder, and this time in the position, so we know that body is allowed. So we're gonna type body in here, and we're gonna put a space, so it's %20, and then followed by whatever payload we have. And in the payloads now, instead of having tags, we're gonna clear all this, and we're gonna paste the possible events. So as I said, after these events, you can put JavaScript code. So on playing, on pointer down, all of these positions, you can put JavaScript after it, and if it's accepted, the JavaScript will run. So in the position, we're doing the body because we know the body is accepted, and then we're putting the special S's after that, saying what kind of attribute can I use with the body that you will accept. So we're gonna click on Start at Tag. So we're looking for 200 for success, and perfect. You can see on resize is giving us 200, so it's giving us success. So that means we can try this attribute and see if it actually allows us to inject JavaScript code. Now, if you don't know what the onResize does, you can simply go ahead and Google it and see what the onResize does. But instead of wasting your time and doing a quick Google search on it now, I can just tell you the onResize event gets triggered when the page is resized. So we're gonna do body, we're gonna say onResize. So when the page is resized, I want you to give me an alert. And in this alert, this time we will say 3, just for a change, why not? And then we're gonna do /body. We're saying body because from the first time we ran the intruder, we knew that body is allowed. We know onResize is allowed as well. And we're basically chancing it by running the alert code in here and put in normal text, and we're closing the body tag. So let's click on search, and as you can see, nothing happens. But like I said, the event that we used on resize only gets triggered when the page is resized. So what we have to do now to see if our code is gonna work is resize this page. So if we resize it, as you can see, we're getting our JavaScript code to run in here. So again, we managed to inject JavaScript code in the target page, and we did that in a page that actually has a firewall or a filtering system. Filtering system is pretty good. It was able to filter a lot of things, and it's pretty much filtering all tags. And the only way that we know we can use the body is using the intruder, instead of just going through the cheat sheet, because there's a lot of cheat sheets these days that you can look online. And obviously the possibilities are endless. So you can see this cheat sheet has so many different possibilities. So you can't really just go and run all of these and see which one works. So it's much better, obviously, to just go one by one, see which tag is possible, then see which event is possible, and then play with the possible payloads for this event. And like I said, the intruder, what we used in here, can be useful in so many scenarios, not just in this specific scenario, like when it comes to bug hunting and website pen testing. Very useful because you can simply send any request to it from your proxy, and you can put the special S's to any location within the request. And then in the payloads, you can put any payloads you want. You click on Start Attack, and it'll substitute every single payload that you put in here in the positions that you placed in here. So you can have your own payloads, you can have your own cool attack strategies and attack methods that specifically suit the target website or the target input, and then get Burp to do the rest of the work to help you narrow down what you can and can't use.